Hello, hello. What a wonderful panel. I'm glad to be joined by all five of you, four and a baby. It's wonderful to have you all here. I want to start with you, Carmit. We keep hearing the expression in Israel, en mayim b'kineret, right? We keep hearing it. What are the unique challenges of water supply in a country with a climate such as ours where there's a sort of unique winter, but not really a winter? And what are the unique solutions you provide?
Okay, good evening, everybody. First of all, I'm happy to be here. As you said, I represent Mekorot, which is the national water company of Israel. And our main challenge is to supply water with the required quantities and qualities. And now looking back at the past 20 years ago, we had only two sources of water. We had the groundwater and the surface water, the Sea of Galilee. And today, thanks to the proactive approach of Israel to desalination, we have also another source, very important and reliable source, which is the desalinated water, which is not dependent on climate. So it's, right, as you said, if it's winter, which is not really a winter, so it matters, but we can handle it because we have this flexibility of the desalination water source. Absolutely.
So, it's very necessary, and there's a lot of difficulty in kind of understanding this industry. I don't think it's particularly easy. What are the latest technological advances when it comes to desalination?
Yes, so desalination has come a long, long way from the beginning at the 60s or the 70s. And we always look for ways to do it more efficient, the desalination process. Now, if I need to say something, to point on one innovation that really changed the desalination process, will be the use and the implementation of energy recovery device. A desalination process requires a lot of energy, especially seawater desalination. So imagine that you invest all this energy, you take it, and you just use it for the process, and then dispose it. So with the implementation with energy recovery device, you take this energy and you put it back to the process, to the desalination process, with the efficiency higher than 95%, which is huge recovery. So I think that this is the most important revolution that was implemented in the desalination. And of course, in Mekorot, we also have an innovation department, and in our department, in the desalination department, we conduct many pilots, especially for this purpose, to use the less chemicals to save energy consumption and to make it more efficient.
Absolutely. It's so necessary, especially since, there are very few things we all need. Water is one of them.
Yes, and I must say, as you said, regarding the AI, the AI is the future, I think, everywhere. So also in desalination, I think that the implementation of AI will be the future.
Absolutely. So I do want to turn to Miri real quick. You said, it's hard for working professionals to maintain some semblance of, first of all, sanity, and not to mention health, when they work long hours and push themselves in the workplace in order to advance. But you created an app to help advance just that. Can you tell a little bit about that? What do you do to encourage positive change?
Of course. But before, let me share something personal, if I can.
You may.
Until the age of 30, I was a couch potato. But then I fell in love with sport and embrace a healthier way of living.
Oh, so you're here to talk about addiction awareness.
I don't know. Let's see about that. I realized that sport is important for strong mind, body, and soul. So when I was offered the opportunity to establish a new club, a health club, it felt like a natural fit. So 5 years ago, I had the privilege of launching the first health club in Israel dedicated to promoting a healthy lifestyle. It is called the Healthy Workers Club for the Histadrut members. Maybe we have here Histadrut members. So how do you reach 1 million Histadrut members across the country? Do you have them?
Oh, wow. We have fans in the audience. No, I'm just kidding.
So how do you reach 1 million Histadrut members across the country? Well, we developed an app. And our app encourages users to stay active by rewarding them. Our app tracks their movements, convert them into steps, and the steps through health coins. And with those health coins, users can get a variety of benefits with no additional cost. Benefits like breakfast, books, personal training, sport equipment, and even retail vouchers. The club also offers a nutrition program, a mindfulness instructor, and even smoking cessation support. Nowadays, we have more than 400,000 members, active members in our app. Yeah, you can clap.
Oh, wow.
And they're improving their health life with us, and we are proud to say that these members access the application more than 6 million times every month. That's
amazing. Yeah. You know, as somebody who struggles like everybody to exercise, I am perfectly okay with being Pavlov's dog into working out. It's a great strategy. Nicole, I want to turn to you. The Merage Foundation, and if anybody doesn't know what the Merage Foundation is, they should. It has taken a very active role in the Negev's economic transformation, and supporting Israel is really something that everybody here on this panel is doing. Let's talk a little bit about the initiatives you've pushed forward and what challenges you faced in doing so.
Sure. First of all, it's great to be here. Such friendly faces. The Merage Foundation is a private philanthropic foundation led by David Merage, a business leader, and his wife Laura, an artist from the United States. And they fell in love with the Negev about 25 years ago and said, how is it possible that the 60% of Israel's landmass has only 10% of the population? And when you go and visit, you feel that there's this big gap between this thriving center and the periphery. And so over the years, the foundation has invested in multiple projects, but what I can refer to, 5 years ago, I joined the team and we built an economic model that pretty much tries to say, how do we make the Negev a magnet for young, productive people? How do we make it a powerhouse for the next generation of professionals?
And one of those answers was alcohol, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, nice.
Actually, it is.
I know.
So what we realize is that we need to create jobs, and high-paying jobs, and jobs that speak to millennials and next generation, because we want that kind of people to move to the Negev. And so it's clear that the Negev has to compete not just with the center of Israel, but with the world. And so we developed three main growth engines. One of it is called Desert Tech, very much related to what you were talking about, Mekorot. We are a desert, and we knew from day one of the creation of the state that we need to thrive in desert environments, and we have all these know-how that we should commercialize. We should make businesses out of it. Nowadays, there's all these R&D centers, but not really a lot of startups coming out. And so that's one of the things that we're working for. The second area, just like you said, tourism. We all go to the Negev for tourism. We want wellness. We want Bereshit Hotel if we can afford it.
Oh, yeah.
But what about, I'll tell you, on a personal experience, when I did one time decide to go to Bereshit several years ago, they asked me, do you want to get the breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or just breakfast and dinner? And I said, well, I don't know. Let's see. I'm probably going to explore. And they told me, no, don't worry. There's nothing to do in Mitzvah Ramon. And I said, what? How is that possible? And so I realized that we need to create more attractions. We are seeing a lot more hotels coming up. And so we realized that there's this untapped potential of wineries, desert wineries. And we said, why don't we transform the Negev into the world's first desert wine destination? And
Absolutely.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, so winos, head south. That's where you got to go. So Liat, I do want to turn to you, because if we're talking about, creating and producing leadership and movement, that's something that you have a lot of experience about. In your background spans government, community leadership, and social business. How have these experiences shaped your approach to leadership?
So I'll say that the main thing is that real change needs to come from multiple directions. And I think what we see here today, and I'm focused as the CEO of Supersonas, I'm waking up every morning in the past 5.5 years to make sure that women are equal part in leadership positions. We still have a long way to go. It's 2025 and we're still holding this conference. And if we want to have a real change, we need to have a real change. We all need to work together. We need to make sure that the energy sector we have talented women working in water desalination and in the philanthropy and in the government. And we all need to work together. We need to make sure that the policy is in the right direction, but we also need to make sure that grassroots actions are taking place and that there is a business model supporting real change. Before coming to Supersonas, I worked for a regional municipality, and before that in a Harai NGO, and working in all the different sectors, I realized that if we all take the strength out of each organization and putting our efforts together, we can create a real change. So
That's
we're
amazing.
working towards that.
Yeah, so you guys have a lot of experience in terms of bringing women to leadership positions. Is there a most effective method of increasing women's influence in decision-making roles?
Yes. We can give a whole lecture about that, but I will share a few of the main points that we see from what we do in Supersonas. I think the first thing is to wake up every morning and work towards that. If you want to create a change, you will need to have someone working 24/7 for that. And I will say thank you to the Jerusalem Post, Inbar, and our team, because before every conference they hold, we get a phone call. We need more women on our panels and on our stages, and it's an agenda. It's not something that happens if you don't have someone minded to that. So that's the first thing. Have
Absolutely.
someone focus on that. The other thing is that to face the barriers, and I will say, I feel comfortable. It feels like a very comfortable place.
It's just us girls
a safe
here.
place, exactly. Some of the speakers were supposed to be here today, but because they don't feel comfortable in their English or because they don't feel innovative enough, they're not sitting here. And this is a barrier that we see in very strong, influential women. They don't get on stage. We don't get to hear them. We don't get to enjoy from what they have to give us, society, not just women, because of that. So we need to face those barriers, and we need to make sure that we tackle them in a sensitive way. We don't want to be something that we are not, but we need them to influence. So this is another thing, to look at the barriers and tackle them. Mm-hmm. And the third thing that I'll say is towards the business sector. We keep saying that we're looking for the government and policymakers, but the business sector has this huge power to change reality.
Absolutely.
And if the business sector deciding that gender equality is on the agenda, things are moving forward.
You know, if one group kind of starts the initiative of bringing people upwards, lifting them up, it creates waves. And Miri, you lead a number of initiatives at the Histadrut, including an educational program which gives access to working people to higher education, and it does just that, allowing them to both work and get their degrees, which is no easy feat. Personal experience. With over 16,000 people currently studying in the program, what impact have you seen on their professional advancement, and how do you ensure these programs meet the evolving needs of businesses today?
Okay, first of all, I want to say that when we talk about education, we need to understand that people should advance themselves, and we created a program that it's advanced by learning. We created a program that encourages Histadrut members to pursue education, because we realize that employees with higher education or with professional training have more opportunity to diverse career. So this program is based on the understanding that the ever-changing job market demands new job. The program offers 3 tracks. One is an academic degree at a discount and with an annual scholarship. The other one is practical engineering studies for only 1,000 shekels per year. And the third is provides access for more than 600 courses, professional courses, at half the price of the market. And in the Advanced by Learning program, I developed courses exclusively for women. Topics like leadership, directors, capital markets and personal growth are some of the subjects women can learn in our program. And that's why the courses they're designed to equip their critical skills, the critical skills that they need to get to their upper management.
Amazing. I do want to have, we are out of time, but I do have one more question for you, Nicole. Your work with reservists, with Pakal, has been absolutely ahead of its time. How has the war, in short, reshaped your approach to supporting reservists and their families?
Yes, so very briefly, because I know we're running out of time. Back in 2018, we were approached by a commander in his company, and he said, I feel that there's a crisis in the reserve system. People feel unappreciated. And I can, as a commander, I feel like people are just not even coming because they don't feel seen. We established a program that said, why don't we turn the company of the reservists into a community? We women, we understand what that means. Creating a sense of belonging, making sure people see you, making sure the commander works with other people to create a work plan over the year of how you incorporate values, how do you appreciate people who retired. Throughout the years, the program grew, and when October 7 and the war started, we were starting reaching out to companies, hundreds of Miluim reservist companies. Each company has 100 reservists, so we're talking huge impact. And making sure that even throughout the war, we were handling support and what became originally what was about cohesion, we were talking about lechidut, turned into resilience, because the commanders were reaching out saying, how do I deal with loss? How do I deal with all our spouses? And so now we are also launching, or we just launched Pakal Ba'oref, Pakal for the spouses, and they are being their cohesion coaches themselves, the spouses, and they feel seen. They say, we wear a see-through uniform, and finally you see that we're part of this war as well.
Absolutely. As a reservist's wife, hell yeah. Thank you so much to our wonderful panel for joining us today.
Thank you. Toda.